Top of the stretch. Here they come. They're off. On the inside, it's 44D. On the outside, quickly up to Challenger. First pot of gold. They race for position. 44D, first pot of gold on the outside, challenging. Flashy Finale came away in third. A length back to Bibbidi Bobbidi Boo, racing in fourth. Then a gap of 3 to Carolina Kitty. Carol's Pocket looking to settle in behind her. Comes Friends Forever and LD's LC. Racing for the quarter, 44D in command of the pace, leads it a tight length over first pot of gold. Flashy Finale with the leaders in third, opening quarter, 29-2. Race off the turn, 44D on the outside, pressure from Bibbidi Bobbidi Boo. On the outside, Carol's Pocket moving up with cover, with first pot of gold right there in the pocket. On the inside, Flashy Finale, Friends Forever in a live flow, Carolina Kitty, and LD's LC. Now they're 4 in, 4 out as they race for the half. Your leader is 44D on the outside, Bibbidi Bobbidi Boo. First pot of gold right there in behind the leader, with Carol's Pocket getting a good trip for Morgan. Half time to minute straight. 44D. On the outside, it's Bibbidi Bobbidi Boo. First pot of gold right there in behind the leader. On the outside, Carol's Pocket, followed by Friends Forever. Flashy Finale and Carolina's Kitty save ground. LD's LC still about 6 to make up with a little more than a quarter of a mile to go. Bibbidi Bobbidi Boo keeps the heat on. 44D with Carol's Pocket lurking in the shadows. 3/4, 1:30-1. 44D now starting to put away Bibbidi Bobbidi Boo. Will now fend the on-rushing Carol's Pocket. First pot of gold, losing ground in third. They come to the corner with an 1/8 of a mile to go. 44D leads it. Carol's Pocket is homing in. It's 44D. Carol's Pocket trying to get at her in deep stretch. 44D well in hand. Carol's Pocket second. First pot of gold third.
And 7, Comiskey King will offer the competition. Double, exacta, $1 and $2 superfecta, 8 minutes to post.
Top of the stretch, here they come. They're off and pacing on the inside. So Cheerful left well. In the middle of the track, Brian's Bombshell and showing some pace. Look Max far outside. Lake Hills Frisco is carried wide, 3 off the rail. It's a battle for the lead. So far, So Cheerful has won it. On the outside, here comes Look Max with Brian's Bombshell right there in third. Lake Hills Frisco refusing to take a seat. He's on the move with Larson. Racing for the quarter, here comes Lake Hills Frisco with a power surge to sweep on past Look Max. Opening quarter, a quick 28-2. Lake Hills Frisco now in command of the pace. Opens up a 4-length advantage on Look Max with So Cheerful racing in third. Then a gap of 2 to Brian's Bombshell. A big break to Fractal. In behind him, Where's the Doc? A length to High Lonesome. Destructor is a good 15-16 off the top. Half mile, 57-1. Lake Hills Frisco out there cutting some fast fractions with Look Max right on his back. So Cheerful racing with those two. A big break to Brian's Bombshell, hard pressed to keep pace at this point. Moving to the outside, Where's the Doc? High Lonesome is on the move. Destructor also makes his rally from last, dropping back Fractal. It's a 3-horse race. Lake Hills Frisco on the outside. Here comes So Cheerful. Look, Max is right there in third. 3/4, 1:26. And now So Cheerful. Hard pressed to clear. Lake Hills Frisco still there on the inside. Look Max is right off that parry. Sets to rally from third. An 1/8 of a mile to go. So Cheerful has cleared to lead. Around the turn, here they come for home. It's So Cheerful now drawing off with every stride. A late rally by High Lonesome in deep stretch. It's So Cheerful. And comes High Lonesome. Look Max was third.
position. 6, Jabberbox has thrown some very big races here. First over in a fast third quarter. This
Top of the stretch. Here they come. They're off. Far outside, Andy Miller has Gold Bandit all fired up. He quickly makes the top as the field races into the first turn. Gravelocity on the outside is off stride. Prohibitive will take over second. And then a gap of 3 to Fresnay Les Bouffards. Another length back to Willie Buck. Gravelocity back on stride. Pacing on the outside and now passed by Genuine Chevy. Field settles in as they race for the quarter. Gold Bandit on top by 2. Prohibitive racing in the pocket. A length back to Fresnay Les Bouffards. Opening quarter 30-1. Gold Bandit leads it with the favorite Prohibitive. Right on his back. Another length and a half back to Fresnay Les Bouffards. Another length back to Willie Buck. Then a gap of 2.5. To Genuine Chevy. Gravelocity after the miscue. Trails the field. Roll off the turn and now McGee sends Prohibitive to the top. Prohibitive clears easily. Gold Bandit will gladly take the 2-hole trip, and now Fresnay Les Bouffards will apply pressure. Half time to minute 3/5. Prohibitive leads it on the outside. Fresnay Les Bouffards inching his way forward with Gold Bandit right there in third. Willie Buck on the outside. Well placed for Gary Leonard. Genuine Chevy only about 5 off the lead, racing in fifth with Gravelocity right in behind him. Field's bunching up with a quarter of a mile to go. Prohibitive leads it. Fresnay Les Bouffards puts the heat on the leader. Gold Bandit, the long shot, getting a golden trip. Willie Buck racing on the outside 4 3/4, 1:30-2. An eighth of a mile to go. Prohibitive leads the way. They come to the corner. It's Prohibitive. Gold Bandit on the outside, winding up. Here comes Willie Buck. Down the stretch, it's Prohibitive now. Kicking out. Prohibitive winning it easily. Gold Bandit second, close for third.
He's trying to go for 2 in a row. He's at 7-1. 6, Reality Bites. Big price on this horse. Pulled on 3 wide. Closed extremely.
Top of the stretch. Fields picking up speed. Here they come. They're off. Lake Hills Doc and Maru's Robbie. They're both going after the lead. Also coming away well, I'm Brooks Gold. As the field starts to settle in as they race around the turn. Hey Daddy Hey drops in fourth. On the outside, Ticked Off is parked in fifth. Little Mage racing to the inside of him. Then comes Ancient Irish and Closing Yates. Midway up the backstretch, it's Lake Hills Doc on top, a length. Maru's Robbie tracking the leader. Off the quarter, 28-4. Lake Hills Doc leads it. Maru's Robbie racing in the pocket, a length and a half back to Imes Brooks Gold racing third. On the outside, Ticked Off, parked from the start, begins to move up in fourth. On the inside, Hey Daddy Hey saves ground. Closing Yates on the outside, racing in sixth. In seventh, Little Mage, Ancient Irish still trails, but on the move with a half mile to go. It's Lake Hills Doc and Maru's Robbie. Co-favorites racing 1-2 off the half, 59-3. Lake Hills Doc leads it. Maru's Robbie right there on his back on the outside. Ticked Off trying to overcome a very difficult trip. I'm Brooks Gold racing in fourth. On the outside, Closing Yates racing fifth. Hey Daddy Hey is pinned in on the cones. He needs racing room. On the outside, Ancient Irish. Little Mage being outpaced. Quarter of a mile to go. It's Lake Hills Doc. Ticked Off won't go away. He's going a big heat. Maru's Robbie is right there and getting the good trip. 3/4, 1:30-1. 3/16 to go. Lake Hills Doc trying to hold off Ticked Off. Maru's Robbie is there. I'm Brooks Gold racing on the inside and now beginning to rally. Hey, Daddy, hey, around the turn. It's Lake Hills Doc, and now Maru's Robbie has a clear lane. Ticked off is still there. It's Lake Hills Doc. McGee getting him home. Maru's Robbie second, close for third. Top of the stretch, here they come. They're off. On the inside, Traveling Man left well. Holiday hustling out Monsieur Mindale, as is Dan Knox and AJ's dad. Racing for position. On the inside, it's Traveling Man. Coming away second, Southern Justice, Monsieur Mindale. On the rim third, takes aim at the lead. AJ's dad right in behind him. On the inside, it's High Rider. 2 lengths back to Recognize the Trailer. Traveling Man out there by 3.5. Monsieur Mindale now finds a spot. Opening quarter 8 quick, 28 seconds. Traveling Man leads it, and now here comes AJ's dad. Knox got him fired up. He's going after the lead. Traveling Man racing alongside. Monsieur Mindale racing in third. 1.5 lengths back to Southern Justice. Recognized is on the move. High Rider is pushed back to the end. AJ's dad is your new leader. Traveling Man racing second, and now Holiday attacks with Monsieur Mindale. Recognized picks up cover. Half-timed in 57.3. AJ's dad, your leader on the outside. Here comes Monsieur Mindale. Traveling Man right there in the pocket. McGee has Recognize. In striking range on the outside, fourth. Southern Justice saves ground. High Rider still trails, but only about 6 to make up with 1/4 mile to go. And now Monsieur Mindale, hard-pressed to clear AJ's dad. Takes a short lead, off 3/4, 127.4. Monsieur Mindale leads it. Now Recognized takes aim. AJ's dad racing in third. Traveling Man has nowhere to go. Southern Justice quickly into the action. They come to the corner. Monsieur Mindale leads it. Here comes Recognize. McGee shooting for his third straight. And now Recognize is drawing clear. Recognized in the final strides is clear for the victory as McGee wins another. Monsieur Mindale second best, close for third.
$2 Quinella box, 2 Smoke'em JoJo, 4 Lake Hills Ivy, 7 BJ Sit, the Logical Upsetters, 5.
Fields off the turn. Here they come. They're off. Crystal Bold out in a hurry for Larson on the outside. Cool Mister also left well. Coming away in between horses is King's Cub. They race for position, and now Cool Mister will take the lead away from Crystal Bold. A length back to King's Cub racing in third. Another length back to Shokin in the hole. He's away in fourth. 2 lengths back to He's a Hit. Another length back to Razzie Red. And then a gap of 2. 2 Sweet Baby Ray and Can Breeze trails. Racing for the quarter, it's Cool Mister out there by 2 1/4. Opening panel 28-1. Cool Mister leads it by about 3, with Crystal Bold tracking in second. King's Cub bids first over. Followed up closely by Shokin in the hole, the favorite. Another length back to He's a Hit. He's in the outer flow with Razzie Red. Sweet Baby Ray saves ground. Can Breeze still trails, but on the move. Cool Mister, the one to catch. He's pacing comfortably on top in rain to Carl Perselli Jr. Crystal Bold racing in the pocket. King's Cub heading up the second tier as he faces the breeze. Off the half, 59 seconds. Cool Mister leads it. Crystal Bold racing second. King's Cub is stalled out there in third. Shokin in the hole now makes a break. Taking over fourth, Sweet Baby Ray. Razzie Red moving around. He's a Hit. Can Breeze still trails. Cool Mister trying to go all the way. Little more than 1/4 mile to go. They're all in behind. Cool Mister, he's out there by 5. Passing 3/4, 128-2. It's Cool Mister. Crystal Bowl trying to keep pace. On the inside, he's a hit, racing third. Razzie Red in fourth. They turn for the money, and it's all Cool Mister. Crystal Bold trying to make a race of it, but Cool Mister now is pulling away with every stride. Cool Mister is out for a romp in the park. He scores a big one here. Crystal Bold second, close for third. Here they come. They're off and pacing. Janimal on the far outside. Left aggressively in between horses. Monster Mac. And on the inside also coming away, Sulin Dan. Sulin Dan on the inside has the advantage. Monster Mac right alongside in second. Fox Valley Jenkins now comes through. A length back to Janimal racing in fourth. Another length and a half back to One for the Money. Then comes Monster Mac. They're racing for the quarter, and from the outside, Go Sailing. Quickly up to take command. Opening quarter, a quick 28 seconds. Go Sailing leads it. A length and a half. Sulin Dan racing in second, a length back to Fox Valley Jenkins in third. On the outside, moving up, here comes One for the Money. He's bringing up Monster Mac. Janimal saves ground. On the outside, it's Sunny Freedom. Your trailer is Fabulous Finale. Racing for the half. Go Sailing on top and driving on the outside. Here comes One for the Money with Sulin Dan right there in the pocket. Monster Mac on the outside following up live cover, half-timed in 58-2. It's Go Sailing, your leader. One for the Money grinding out a tough trip. Sulin Dan is right there in third. Monster Mac within striking range in fourth. On the inside, it's Fox Valley Jenkins along with Janimal, Sunny Freedom, and now rallying from last, Fabulous Finale. Quarter of a mile to go. They're closing in on the leader, Go Sailing, 3/4, 128-3. Go Sailing around the far turn. On the outside, One for the Money hasn't given up. Sulin Dan racing along the rail. On the outside, it's Monster Mac. Now rallying up Janimal. Fox Valley Jenkins in behind a wall of horses as the field turns for home. Go Sailing, slingshots off the turn, and now opens up in deep stretch. Go Sailing in front. Close for second, One for the Money maybe. 4-3, $137.40. 137.40. Pick six, nobody. Correctly chose 6 out of 6. Consolation 5 out of 6. $476.20. 476.20 on the pick six. Carryover $2,307.23. Here they come. They're off. Good start. Inside 3 horses, all leaving for position. On the outside, Gold Star Sandstorm moves up. Mucho Lito from the rail. On the outside, here's Ruffian Dancer. On the outside, here comes Park Lane and Dale Heitman. Mr. Obvious came away in fourth. Another length back to Ruffian Dancer. Make that painted clown. And then a length back to Annie Rapp. Gold Star Sandstorm trails, racing for the quarter. It's Ruffian Dancer and Park Lane doing battle. Off that station, 28-2. On the outside, Park Lane moves up aggressively for Heitman, now takes command. Ruffian Dancer will yield in second. Mucho Lito racing in third. A gap of 2 to Mr. Obvious, racing in fourth. In fifth, as they race for the half-painted clown, Annie Rapp, your trailer, Gold Star Sandstorm. And now, Mucho Lito attacks for Holiday. takes command off the half, 58-3. Mucho Lito, your new leader. A length ahead of Park Lane on the outside. Now Knox sends Mr. Obvious on his way, bringing up Painted Clown. Ruffian Dancer is hemmed in along the rail. Gold Star Sandstorm also needs racing room. Anti-Wrap trails. Little more than a quarter of a mile to go. It's Mucho Lito. Mr. Obvious digging down and on the attack. 3/4, 128-1. Mucho Lito now by 2.5. On the outside, Mr. Obvious. Park Lane racing in third. Gold Star Sandstorm is rallying from sixth. An eighth of a mile to go. Mucho Lito leads it as they come into the stretch. It's all Mucho Lito. Mr. Obvious picks up the chase. He's closing in. Mucho Lito needs the line. And Mucho Lito has it measured. Mr. Obvious second, close for third. Field picking up speed as they roll off the turn. Here they come. They're off and pacing. Kelly's Chance, the first to show speed. On the inside, Laker Magic left as well. And now moving up to challenge the leaders, Columbia Nipper. Kelly's Chance working his way to the top. Columbia Nipper now attacks for McGee with Laker Magic racing in third. A length and a half back to Oliver G. Slim in fourth. Then comes Cassandra's Gold, your trailer, save for a rainy day. And now McGee sends the favorite Columbia Nipper to the top. He'll cut the fractions from here. Opening quarter, 28-3. Field settles in behind the favorite, Columbia Nipper. Kelly's Chance right there on his back. Laker Magic, 3 lengths off the top in third. Oliver G. Slim racing in fourth. Then comes Cassandra's Gold and Save for a Rainy Day. They race for the half. It's Columbia Nipper. Now Oliver G. Slim will take a run. Kelly's Chance right there in third. Cassandra's Gold moves up second over. Laker Magic is pushed back along the rail. Save for a Rainy Day drives from last. Half-timed into 59 seconds. Easy second quarter there for Columbia Nipper. He'll now fend off the challenge by Oliver G. Slim. Kelly's Chance right there in third. On the outside, Cassandra's Gold has to do a little bit more. Laker Magic racing along the inside. Save for a Rainy Day. Still about 6 to make up. 3/4, 128-4. The pace picks up. Oliver G. Slim throwing everything he has at Columbia Nipper. These two will battle it out for the final eighth of a mile. And now Kelly's Chance advances on the inside. Top of the stretch, it's Columbia Nipper. Oliver G. Slim is lurking. Kelly's Chance racing along the rail. Down the stretch, Columbia Nipper now cruising away from McGee. Kelly's Chance second. Oliver G. Slim holding on for the show money. Top of the stretch. Field's picking up speed. Here they come. They're off. Tony Morgan has the veteran Silver Wolf all fired up. He's quickly out to challenge Craig's Crown for the top spot as the field wheels into the first turn. Craig's Crown and Silver Wolf. And now Silver Wolf will take a back seat as Craig's Crown draws clear as they race off the turn and head up the backstretch. It's Craig's Crown, your leader length. Silver Wolf racing in second, then a break of 3 to Fly With Me. A length and a half to Noteworthy Wolf, another length back to Corky's Hoss and Man Game. Comes Broadway Legend, Wolf Secco, and Fox Valley Snake, opening quarter, 30-2. You race off the turn. Your leader is Craig's Crown with Silver Wolf right there on his back. Fly With Me is first over in third. On the inside, Noteworthy Wolf, Corky's Hoss and Man Game is second over with Cover. Dan Knox has his hands full with Broadway Legend. He's third over as they race for the half. Wolf's Echo saves ground. Fox Valley Snake, 4 in, 4 out. Race by the half, 101 and 4. Craig's Crown, the leader. On the outside, Fly With Me. With the pressure, Silver Wolf racing right there in third. Corky's Hoss and Man Game. And now Knox sends Broadway Legend. He's gathering up momentum. Here he comes. Craig's Crown leads it. Here comes Broadway Legend. Fly With Me packs it in. Silver Wolf racing along the inside. Fox Valley Snake rallies from fifth, 3/4, 131 and 2. Craig's Crown digs down. Broadway Legend takes aim. Silver Wolf racing in third. And now Fox Valley Snake poised for the drive. Railing up on the far outside. Here comes Wolf's Echo. They turn for home. Craig's Crown, your leader, trying to put away Broadway Legend. And now here's Wolf's Echo. Wolf's Echo is flying. Craig's Crown still there. Wolf's Echo coming on to get it. Craig's Crown second, close for third.
Very key race. Exacta trifecta wagering. Race 10 from Balmoral coming up.
Top of the stretch. Here they come. They're off on the inside. Legit 2 being hustled out. Lit a guy right alongside, and now Say It So, fastest of them all. Say It So on the outside. Takes command. Legit 2 racing in second. On the outside, Lake Kills Carl driving for position. Lit a guy came away fourth. Then a break of 2 to Fox Valley Dakota. Another gap of 2 to Stacy's Orphan. A length and a half back to J.E. Big Red. Your trailer, Classics Pretty Boy. Racing for the quarter. Say It So, your leader, in rain to Andy Miller. Off that quarter, a quick 27 and 4. Say It So on top. Legit 2 racing in second. A length and a half back to Lake Kills Carl in third. Then a gap of 2 to Little Guy. Followed up by Fox Valley Dakota. Stacy's Orphan is on the move. J.E. Big Red and Classics Pretty Boy. Off the turn, they pass by the stands. Say It So leads it by 2. Legit 2. Right there in the pocket, Lake Kills Carl racing third. Fox Valley Dakota brings up the second tier as it takes form. Off the half, 58 and 2. Say It So leads it. Legit 2. Right there on his back, Fox Valley Dakota grinding out a tough first over trip. Bringing up Stacy's Orphan. Lake Kills Carl saves ground. J.E. Big Red only about 6 off the lead with a quarter of a mile to go. Classics Pretty Boy and Lit a Guy. They've got a quarter of a mile to go. Trying to catch Say It So. 3/4, 129. Say It So leads it. On the outside, here comes Stacy's Orphan. Fox Valley Dakota's packing it in. Legit 2, poised in the pocket for Faulkner. On the outside, moving up 3 wide, is J.E. Big Red. They turn for home. Say It So under attack. Here's Stacy's Orphan, and now J.E. Big Red gathering up momentum. Here comes J.E. Big Red. Maybe Stacy's Orphan, J.E. Big Red. 2 noses. That's a photo finish.
But I think 7 obliterated. My choice, he's 9-2. Second choice, 6 Fly High Line Eye, 22-1, 2, 3, 4, 10. The logical contenders, Exacta.